Alright guys, today we're going to do the second section of Unit 4, and we're going to talk about using intercepts. So our objective is to find the x and y intercepts in real world situations, and to use the intercepts also to graph lines. Okay, so the y-intercept is the y-coordinate of the point where the graph intersects the y-axis, okay? And then your x-coordinate would be 0. So if this is your y-axis and this is your x, your y-intercept is going to be on this axis. So your y-intercept number can change, but your x value will always be 0, okay? And then the x-intercept will be on the x-axis. It's where it intersects this axis. Therefore, your x value changes, but your y, on your ordered pair, your y will always be 0. So on this one, x is always 0, then you have your y. On your x-intercept, you have your x, and y is always 0. Okay, and that's kind of what I explained right here. So this is your vertical, your y-axis. Okay, so x is always 0, and here's your y value. Here is your horizontal, which is your x value. So x is 4, and your y is 0. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the x and y intercepts by looking at a graph here. Okay, so let's start with the x. Here's your x-axis. It intercepts right here. So where does it intercept the x-axis? At -2. So what ordered pair is this? Remember when you list an ordered pair, you have your x-coordinate and then your y. Well, x is -2, y is 0. Okay, and then for your y-intercept, this is where it crosses the y-axis. Here's your y-axis. It intersects right here. That's +1. So when you list that ordered pair, remember x is always 0 and your y is 1. Okay, now we've given an equation and we're going to find the x and y intercepts. So let's find the x-intercept first. Well, to find the x-intercept, what is always consistent? Your y value is 0. So let's substitute 0 in for y. That's what you do to find the x-intercept. So with this equation, we're going to substitute 0 in for y, and we're going to simplify. 2 times 0 is 0. So on this side you have 5x. Solve that one-step equation. So x is 2. So my x-intercept of this equation is 2. And to find that, you substitute 0 in for y. So how do y'all think we're going to find the y-intercept? Well, here's your y. So x is always 0, and you need to find out what the y is. So what we're going to do is we're going to substitute 0 in for x. Same equation. So 5 times 0 minus 2y equals 10. So 5 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 2y is a -2y. Solve that one-step equation. Therefore, y is -5. So there is your y-intercept. Okay, number 3 is just like number 2. I want you all to try this on your own. I'm going to work it on the board, and if you get stuck, look at the board. find your x-intercept, you want to substitute 0 in for y. Simplify this equation, x equals 4. To find your y-intercept, you're going to substitute 0 in for x. Simplify this equation, y equals 8. Okay, Trish can run the 200-meter dash in 25 seconds. Here's our function. Gives the distance remaining to be run after x seconds. Graph this function and find the intercepts. What does each intercept represent? Okay, so for x, and then we're going to find what f of x is. And remember, f of x is the same as y. Okay, so x represents seconds, and we're in a race, running a race. So we need to be careful with our domains. Can you have a negative second when you're running a race? You cannot. So let's start with 0. Okay, and let's see, it's 25 seconds. So I'm going to go by 5s. Okay, so if we substitute 0 in for x, so we have 200 minus 8 times 0. Well, 8 times 0 is 0, so we have 200. Now we're going to substitute in 5 for x. So 8 times 5 is 40. 200 minus 40 is 160. Now we're going to substitute 10 in for x. So 8 times 10 is 80. 200 minus 80 is 120. And then we're going to substitute 15 for x. So 200 minus, what is that, 120? No, 160. 200 minus 160 is 40. And then we're going to substitute in 25 for x. Okay, and the reason, guys, that I had 25 here is because it says that she can run the race in 25 seconds. So that way it'll give me my y-intercept, where my x-intercept, where it crosses the x-axis. So if we graph this, and I've already graphed it for you to save time, when x is 0, right here, y is 200. So right here is my y-intercept. When x is 5, y is 160. When x is 10, 120, 15, 40, and 25, 0. Right here's my x-intercept. Okay, so we do have to identify what the y-intercept means and what the x-intercept means, okay? So when you're right here, what does this mean for the race? It means your start of the race, okay? Time is 0, and you're getting ready to start the race. When you have the x-intercept, what does that mean on this graph? It means that the race is finished. And you finished it in 25 seconds. Okay, let me check time here. All right. I'm going to let you all do this one on your own. However, I am going to help you substitute in for your domain, your x. So this is what I want you to substitute in. Okay? And here is your function. And I want you all to finish this one on your own, and I'm going to move on. remember to graph a linear function, you need to plot only two ordered pairs. It is often simplest to find the ordered pairs that contain the intercepts. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so we're going to graph this, but in order to graph it, we need to find the x and y intercept. Okay, so to find the x-intercept, you're going to substitute 0 in for y. And then you're going to simplify this equation. So this ordered pair is 7, 0. There's your x and your y, so when we graph it, okay? To find your y-intercept, you're going to substitute 0 in for x. So I have 0 minus 7y, which is a negative 7y. Be careful with that. Solve this one-step equation. So y equals a negative 3. So this ordered pair is going to be 0, negative 3. So I have my 2 points. Now I can graph. Okay, I believe you all have a graph. Let's see if I can put one on here real quick. Okay, I'm going to move on so that I'll have to work with that later, make sure I know how to use it. I believe, guys, I've given you a coordinate plane to graph your point. Okay, so my first point is 7, 0. And let's do this every 2. So 7's right here, 7, 0. Then my second point is 0, negative 3. And let's do this every 1. There's my line. And that's it for this lesson. Have a good one.